Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the John and Ant Show. I'm John.
This is Ant.
And let's talk sports for today. Obviously, we have the NFL playoffs still going on. AFC Championship, NFC Championship. Interesting matchups, I would say.
Absolutely.
We'll go to the first game, which is at 3 o'clock on Channel 5. San Francisco versus Atlanta. Your take?
Well, my take on it is I was really interested with the Atlanta game in the sense that in the first half I thought they looked unstoppable. Against the Seahawks they did everything right. They didn't let them score. They couldn't be stopped. Matt Ryan looked great. I just couldn't see anybody beating them. Then halftime came along.
Yeah. That whole game changed.
The whole game changed. Seattle really turned it on. Took the lead for a brief moment, and then Atlanta, all they really had to do was kick a field goal.
But you always go back. Do you think Seattle scored too early?
It's tough to say. I'm someone who believes you got to score when you can, and I understand people who say they scored too early, but again, that's you putting faith in your defense. And I guess I understand why.
And all it did was take Matt Ryan 2 plays to get
yeah,
30.
who would have thought?
Yeah, 2 plays. But that's also bad defense on Seattle's part, which,
is.
once again, overrated defense. But we'll get better in the future.
Mm-hmm.
But it just shows you that defense is not that good as people say.
Right. I mean, they turned it on in the second half. They really did. They looked great. But then, and I guess that's probably why the coach decided to trust the defense on this. Maybe that's why he liked it. But then, again, Matt Ryan, he got back in form. And, it was a question of whether Ryan would repeat his previous, I don't want to say his previous failures because it's a team loss. It's not just Matt Ryan's. But you did wonder, man, is this going to happen to Atlanta again? But no, it seemed like not this time. They went out, they did their job. Again, it was too close for comfort. Atlanta cannot do this against the 49ers.
No.
Absolutely not, because although Atlanta looked unstoppable for one half, the 49ers thus far have looked unstoppable.
Would you say anything wrong with San Francisco's defense? Because remember, Green Bay still scored 31 points on them.
Oh, they did. They did. But I feel like San Francisco, when Green Bay started, I feel like San Francisco was still kind of comfortable. They were still comfortable. Maybe some of those points were because the defense was playing a little, we've won this game already. We can give them a little, we can have a little room for error.
Well, when you say that happened in the Atlanta game, where they're up 20-0, and all of a sudden the Seattle scores, it makes it 20-7, then the 21-point score in Seattle, it's impressive, but wouldn't you think that Atlanta fell asleep at one point during the game? Because all the first half they played great. Second half was like they forgot how to play football.
Yeah. It's like they felt like they had it won. They felt like they didn't have anything to prove. And then Atlanta, Seattle just came back in a way that, I was watching the game and I was saying, well, this game's pretty much over. And that was at 20-7. Because I thought, Atlanta will at least get another field goal between now and the end.
They got nothing at one point. Nothing.
They had to wait to the very end to do it.
Obviously, this is a matchup of the quarterbacks, Matt Ryan versus Kaepernick.
Yeah.
Your take? Who's going to be the better quarterback in this matchup?
Right now, Kaepernick he's firing on all cylinders. Right now, the last game we saw him in, just the rushing and the passing, really, with the exception of that first interception he threw. The fact that he was able to bounce back from that was very impressive. I gotta wonder what Alex Smith is thinking.
Yeah, I feel really bad for Alex Smith right now.
I do, because it's not like he's a bad quarterback.
Go to Buffalo. We need a quarterback.
I mean, he's not. Well, I would prefer him elsewhere, but.
Is it New York Jet?
Well, the Jets will destroy him.
No, that's true.
That's where quarterbacks go to die.
But I do feel bad for Alex Smith. I think
because the thing about Alex Smith, usually the story is, it's on a struggling team, the quarterback gets hurt, and then
another guy comes in. Very good year.
Alex Smith was doing all right.
A very good year.
Last year, he brought his team to the NFC Championship.
Then all of a sudden, this guy named Colin Kaepernick shows up and says, "I'm going to take control of this team," and he's proved it so far.
Yeah.
You know, so and I give the check mark to Kaepernick as well. Even though the game is in Atlanta, do you give the home? Do you give Matt Ryan a little bit of advantage, or absolutely not?
I don't know if that's tough because I know Atlanta's, their home turf is loud. Really, like that's what happens when you play in the dome.
Yes.
And we saw how loud the crowd can get towards the end of that last game. And I do believe they can be a factor, but I don't know that it's going to help the defense stop Kaepernick's running.
Well, if you remember, the crowd was dead at one point.
Yeah, they were
that
dead
game.
because in that game, I believe the announcers even said the fans are weary. They're wary of Atlanta's failures
Yes.
in the playoffs, and they're going there and they're like, I want to see what they can do this year. I want to see what's going on. When it was 20-0, they were pretty loud because they felt like they had it won. But then when Seattle starts coming back, they have these camera shots to the fans, and you see written all over their face, "Not again.
Yeah.
Not again. Don't tell me this is going to happen again." And it was very close. It was a few seconds away from happening again. But I don't see this one being a blowout. I don't see either team falling behind. I feel like this is going to be a classic.
I think if Atlanta falls behind and Frisco gets a lead, the game's over.
Oh, yeah.
That's how I see it, and like I said, I give the
Honestly, I do believe that San Francisco might be the better team,
okay.
but I think the home field will even that out.
Yeah, you're right.
I do, and I don't say that just because of the spiritual thing about
Well, it's
being
home
at
field advantage.
It's home field advantage. This is a real home field advantage because of the crowd noise. Those audibles are tough to hear in a place that loud. So we don't know how that's going to affect Kaepernick. It should be very interesting.
Okay.
Like I said, I'm just glad that we're getting a new star from the NFC.
Yes. Very
Because
impressive.
either way this goes, you're either going to get a new star quarterback in, just might be a household name because
Or Matt Ryan finally breaking the ice.
it'll be Matt Ryan breaking the ice, or it'll be Kaepernick making a name for himself.
All right.
Granted, he has made a name for himself already, I believe,
Okay.
but this will just give him more of a good standing with the rest of the NFL. For some reason, some people look down on quarterbacks who run.
I love the
don't
quarterbacks
get
who
it.
run, even though
Yeah.
they take legitimate hits,
Yeah,
like RG3.
look, a running quarterback, in my view, is just someone who's willing to
Take a risk.
go the extra mile to get those yardage.
Russell
Get that
Wilson.
yardage, yeah.
I'll throw a quarterback right there. Russell Wilson, RG3, Michael Vick. Even though I hate to
Yeah.
bring him up,
Mhm.
obviously they both have talented running backs, and Frank Gore and Michael Turner, who has the running game on this.
Who has a running game? I think
Yeah.
it's San Francisco.
Okay,
Not just with Frank Gore. Kaepernick's in there too.
that's true.
They
That
have
is
two
true.
guys who can run all over you, and I just wonder if Atlanta's defense is up for it. I mean, I'm sure they are up for it, but I wonder if they can actually stop it.
All right. I agree with Frank Gore, Michael Turner, but also you have to give where credit's due.
Mm-hmm. And
Good running back.
absolutely, yeah.
Good running back. Can he run all? But this is a problem. I see tweaks in the San Francisco defense.
Mm-hmm.
Could he run all over San Francisco's defense? Remember, they gave 31 points up.
Yeah.
To Green Bay,
Mm-hmm.
which has me concerned. That can Michael Turner run all over their defense?
It's definitely something to watch out for. I really don't. I just can't see them running all over them. I just don't see it because if they couldn't do it against Seattle,
Okay.
I don't know if they can do it against Atlanta.
All right.
I just feel like. Well, excuse me. We're talking about Atlanta.
Yes. Hotlanta.
If they couldn't really, because they scored only 20 points against the Seahawks,
Yes.
and the last 3 points came from hurry up, a field goal, last few seconds. So yeah, the whole game they only were able to compile 20 points, and I do believe San Francisco has a better defense than the Seattle Seahawks. Granted, they do have a few holes, but I do think they will plug up those holes for Michael Turner. He won't really. I don't think he'll have a super day, but I think he'll have enough to make it interesting.
All right. We go to wide receivers. Crabtree, Vernon Davis, Randy Moss, Ted Ginn against the Atlanta crew, which is Rodney White, Tony Gonzalez, Julio Jones, Harry Douglas. Your take?
I think Atlanta has the better wide receiving core. I do. I mean, again, Crabtree's been phenomenal.
Yeah.
For Vernon Davis is always consistent. But, just Julio Jones and Tony Gonzalez and Roddy White. I tell you what, Tony Gonzalez isn't the youngest tight end out there,
No,
but he's still got it.
Super old.
He's super old, but he's still there.
Still got it.
He's still there when you need him.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the guy who I see having a big day. I see him having a big day because, Matt Ryan probably going to be really nervous.
I see a lot of throwing from Atlanta if they can't get the running game going.
So do I. Like I said, I don't think Turner's going to have a huge day, which is why I think it'll be up to Matt Ryan to win that game.
All right.
And I do think that the San Francisco defense will be up for the job. So Ryan will probably be dumping it off to Gonzalez more often than not.
All right. My take, I see this even, just because we've seen the birth of Michael Crabtree.
Yes.
And I think he's going to get impressive as he has a great career in San Francisco.
Oh, he has. I hope he's one of those players who stays with one team for his whole career.
I think so. And
I would like him to be one of those franchise players.
And he's one of the. He came off slow, but he's slowly picked it up.
Yeah, he had a rough start.
Yes.
Holding out as a rookie, I think he did, right? Wanted more money.
I think Randy Moss, you're old, but I'll give him where credit is due. Vernon Davis, I mean, he's equal to Tony Gonzalez, but when you go to Vernon Davis is a great tight end. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But I will give Tony Gonzalez the edge here. Randy Moss against Julio, easy. I mean, it doesn't even compare.
Oh yeah, not really.
Now you get the matchup against Rodney White against Crabtree. Both almost equal because Rodney, same. He had a slow year. He had an okay year, not as great as last year.
Right. Nothing spectacular.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is even, but I give the edge to Frisco with Crabtree. I think they're both great. Look at Frisco's wide receiver core. You look at Atlanta's. They're both very good. You can't say anything wrong about them. Defense. What defense do you give? Atlanta's defense overcoming or
San Francisco's
defense? Which defense is going to step up this game? Because obviously people say defense wins championships.
Yeah.
I see that. I understand that, but also the offense does win you championships.
Yeah.
Like I said, Tom Brady is the best 2-minute quarterback in the NFL. I don't care what anyone says. And I hate Tom Brady. But if there's one person I have to go to for 2 minutes, it's either Eli Manning or Tom Brady.
Well, we've debated, yeah. We have debated this, and yeah, you got the Tom Brady side. I just feel I'm on Team Eli.
I know, I understand
when
that.
It comes. But again, two good arguments. But in terms of these two defenses, I gotta wonder. I like to say that it's San Francisco who has the edge with the defense.
I understand that.
Just because of Patrick Willis.
Okay.
I mean, I feel like he's the reason Michael Turner's not going to have a huge day.
Okay.
He'll have a good day, but I don't think he's going to have like 150 yards or anything like that.
Does it show from the Seattle game that?
But hang on, that's why. This is what bugs me about it though, because like you said, they did give up a good amount of points to the Green Bay Packers. Right.
Yeah.
And then I have Atlanta's, whose defense, I wasn't too keen on. And even though they seemed to take the second half off, that first half they looked really good.
They looked really good till the second. But this is where you have to play both quarters. You can't play one half sloppy and then come out great.
Yeah.
You can't do that. You can't do that.
I just feel, I think that might have, I don't want to say it was a fluke because I want to give Seattle their credit. They came out and they played a heck of a second half.
They did.
But I don't know if Atlanta can play that defense they played for the first half. I think they win.
Okay, yeah, I agree. I was just gonna I would say who is your
My pick
who's
to
your
win this
pick
game.
to win this game, and what would be your final score?
It's boy, this is a tough one. It really is.
It is. It's
Because
really tough.
I've been following Atlanta this year, but San Francisco's story is really good. But if I had to choose, I think I would go with Atlanta winning the game 24-17.
Atlanta. Okay, that's not a bad pick. I'm going to Frisco.
Okay.
I just see Colin Kaepernick. He's good composure right now.
Yeah.
He's got everything going his way. Rushed for 181 yards last week. He could rush for 200 yards this week. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
He's got the wide receiving core. The defense is there. I mean, maybe not because of what Green Bay gave up, but Atlanta also gave up, 28 points. So I wouldn't favor any defense right now. I'm going by strictly offense, and I give the edge to Frisco. So it's hard to give out a final score
It
here.
is, isn't it? It is.
It's very hard because it could be field goals or touchdowns that win this game, but field goals don't win you games. So I will give 28-14 Frisco.
Okay.
Maybe add a little field goal from Atlanta once in a while, but I definitely see Frisco winning this game and going on to the Super Bowl, which brings us to our next game at 6. Is it 6 or 6:30? Give me a second. 6:30 on Channel 2, CBS. Baltimore.
No Joe Buck.
No Joe Buck.
Yes.
No Joe Buck.
Thankfully.
Baltimore at New England. Could be Ray Lewis's last dance as Boston's getting ready for their retirement party.
Yeah. Did you see that? They have a countdown.
They have a countdown. If you guys want to go to Boston and see that they have it on a billboard. It's really funny, but this defense-wise for Baltimore always gives Brady hoolas. Like it's kudo. Like he gives the heebie-jeebies to Brady.
Right.
Why is it Baltimore's defense gives the heebie-jeebies?
The heebie-jeebies.
Heebie-jeebies to New England.
All right. I think it's because Tom Brady is wary of the guys Baltimore has on their defense.
Okay.
Yes, Baltimore has an old defense, but they do have a lot of accomplishments. They do go out there, they hit hard.
But this is not the same defense. This is not the same defense.
It's not the same defense because they did play earlier this year, and New England did drop 30 on them.
All right.
Baltimore did win the first game 31-30, but that was earlier this year, and the Pats have gotten better as the year went by.
All right.
Earlier in the year, New England didn't seem that special. They just seemed like they were going to have an okay year.
Yeah, they went 1-2 the first 3 games, so and all of a sudden they sparked again. But
yeah,
like you look at
when you have a division like New England gets to play, you get to play the Jets twice, the Bills twice.
Let's not talk about that, please.
And the Dolphins twice. I mean, that's 6 wins for you already.
Yeah, thanks.
But I mean, New England, you gotta give them credit. I mean, they're always there. They're always around.
Always there.
Baltimore, they have been. I think they missed the playoffs last year, didn't they? Did they miss the playoffs last year? Because I know the Steelers were there. I could be out of it. Well, whatever. But what I'm saying here is that Baltimore is always a contender, whether or not they've been out of the playoffs or not. They've always been pretty close.
Okay.
And, they have beaten New England last time they met in the playoffs.
All right.
I do remember Ray Rice running all over. First play, had a huge run for a touchdown. And that basically set the tone for the rest of the game. And New England was eliminated. And I was shocked when that happened. But I would like to see Baltimore pull it out this time. Baltimore has a lot of extra incentive with Ray Lewis retiring.
Yes.
But but again, extra incentive doesn't necessarily mean you're going to play a better game.
You're right.
2 years ago, Baltimore was in the playoffs, and in the divisional round, they had a game against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Do you remember that?
Yes.
It was a game against the Pittsburgh Steelers, who went on to play the Jets. But before this game, when when the Steelers,
Baltimore did because they faced New England
what do you mean?
in the 2012 playoffs. They faced
New England.
yes,
And New England won.
yes,
Oh, okay. So the last time New England won.
yes,
All right. And what was the final score?
23-20.
So it's always a close game.
It's always a
It's always a close game, except for that first one. But you know, I believe.
and Baltimore had a chance to win the game
Uh-huh.
on a 32-yard attempt, and what happened? Billy Cundiff missed the game, missed wide left, allowing the Patriots to advance to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So, obviously, these two have
Probably.
met before.
Yeah. Definitely a game that's going to go down to the wire because it always seems to.
Quarterbacks, we'll get that. Joe Flacco versus Tom
Well,
Brady.
hold on. What I was saying was that.
Oh, go on, continue. I'm sorry.
No, that's all right. Extra incentive doesn't always get the job done because
Okay.
2 years ago the Ravens were up against the Steelers in the divisional round, and Ed Reed, I believe his brother had died,
Okay.
and
Yes.
there was something in the huddle. You know, they were crying, and they said one thing Ed Reed's brother wanted was for us to beat Pittsburgh, and they lost to Pittsburgh.
Yes.
So obviously, you know, you could have that story, you could have that extra motivation, but if the other team's better, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
If they're that much better, because the Steelers were just a better team.
Yeah.
They lost the Super Bowl that year, but they were better than the Ravens. I don't. It's going to be tough this game, you know, because even when New England didn't seem to be firing on all cylinders earlier this year, they still put up a good fight against the Ravens.
Yes.
Just one. They lost by 1 point to Baltimore.
I know.
So who knows? Maybe New England. That's a reminder. So it'd be interesting to see how they retaliate.
Yeah. Yes. Definitely. I agree. Let's go quarterback matchup. Tom Brady versus Joey Flacco.
Not much of a contest here.
Tom Brady by a clear mile. Sorry, Joe. You're second rate here, buddy. I mean, just look at Tom. I mean, Tom Brady put. I mean, last week alone, 41-20. I mean, 41-28. Completely embarrassed Houston.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the stats even show that game what he did. I'll get those in a second.
It was just. It was basically a massacre. I mean.
25 completions for 344 yards, 3 touchdowns.
Mhm.
Blows Matt Schwab away.
Yeah.
343 with 2 touchdowns. I'll give Matt Schwab credit though, that he had a good game, but not good enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, just by a clear landslide. I mean, everyone. I mean, you got the Tom Brady haters there, but like I said, when I want to go to a quarterback,
Yeah.
even for fantasy, it's Tom Brady. You know, he's a great fantasy because Bill Belichick likes to run up the score.
Yeah.
So obviously, if it's 41-0, he's still throwing the ball,
Yeah.
which is kind of funny. So he's a great fantasy pickup for any fantasy owners out there.
I gotta wonder though, because Houston's defense didn't really show up that game.
No.
I mean, at all really. And maybe they had a decent start, but
Oh, it was a decent start, but like I said, during that game, when Houston, they could have ran back the kick, but you get stopped at the 6, you have to score.
yeah.
Because that was the turning point of the game. It's like, I was watching it with my dad. I told him, they have to score, or
Yeah.
they're not winning this game. What happens? They go 3 and out. The tight end misses a wide open catch, went right through his hands, and Matt Schwab overthrows Andre Johnson. So you tell me. I mean, that's the turning point of the game, because you have to score. It's a quick 7-0.
Yeah.
Quick 7-0, you're off to a great jump start. But they settled for a field goal, and look what happened.
Yeah.
Turning point of the game, New England won 41-28. Running back,
Well,
not even a
not
contest.
this just like the other one, but it's the other way around.
Other
this
way
time.
around.
Ray Rice, unreal. This guy could just seems like he can do anything out there.
I
You know?
agree.
And it's funny because a few years ago he was back up to Willis McGahee,
Willis McGahee.
and Ray Rice is just he's become a prime back.
Well,
He's
yeah,
become one of the
well,
best backs in the NFL.
I will give Willis McGahee credit, though, that he went to Denver. Good pickup by Denver's part, and he's had a good career in Denver so far.
Absolutely, yeah.
And a former Buffalo Bill.
Now, don't get me wrong. It would be interesting to see if Ray Rice can still get it done because New England is going to be gunning for him.
Yes.
They're
but
gonna,
this-
what
now
they're,
this
what they're
is
going to
where-
do is they're gonna try their best. They're going to try their best to contain Ray Rice and dare Joe Flacco
But
to. Beat
also, New England does not have a great defense.
them. They don't. No.
They don't. They're all fat defensive linemen.
Mhm.
And I'll give Vince Wilfork credit where credit is due. I mean, he's a great defensive lineman, but they're all fat. They're all fat. I mean, if Ray Rice gets by this defensive line, forget about it. Forget about it. I give the run game to Baltimore. Ray Rice is amazing.
He has to win the game for them. And if not him, it has to
But
be Joe
also,
Flacco.
but Joe
Because
Flacco
here's the
can
thing,
throw on them.
He can throw, but New England is not going to make those mistakes that Denver did.
Okay.
That ridiculous play where the safety didn't get deep enough to cover who made the catch? Was it Troy Smith?
Yes.
That's not going. New England's not going to do that. They will not
Understand.
allow that. New England's defense is not that good, but they're not going to give up a stupid play like that.
Yes.
You know, if Joe Flacco wants to throw these passes long, they're gonna have to be pinpoint accurate. He can't depend on the safeties to make
I
those
still don't
mistakes.
get how Denver. I still don't get how it just cover. That's all you got to do. And what happens? Touchdown. Because we don't know how to cover. It's amazing. I definitely Ray Rice give the advantage to.
Mm-hmm.
Wide receivers. Now this will vary. I mean, I give New England the edge by far. But Baltimore, they have Bolden. They have Anquan Bolden.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna go ahead and agree with you here. I think New England has the better wide receiver core
Okay.
because of Wes Welker and Aaron Hernandez.
And Brandon Lloyd.
Not even because I don't even not even really
You got
even
Branch.
Even with Gronk out. Look, let me tell you
Slater.
something. All those games that Gronk was out,
Woodhead.
all those games that Gronk was out, did they miss him?
No.
They won those games.
I know. I know.
I mean, look, I know Rob Gronkowski is a great tight end, one of the best in history already. He's had a short career and he's already one of the
Yeah, I
best.
know.
But even without him, this shows you that the offense has so much depth to it that they can lose their best tight end and still be near unstoppable.
And the offensive line's good enough.
Yeah.
They have a great offensive line.
Yeah.
So Tom Brady, against Buffalo, let me tell you something. He sat in the pocket. He could have took a nap, laid down, fell asleep, and still completed a pass because Buffalo's defense stinks. They couldn't, and Buffalo had everybody covered, and he's just sitting there waiting for someone to get open.
Yeah.
You can't give Tom Brady time, because if you give Tom Brady time, guess what? He's gonna complete a pass.
That's always what I do wonder about New England, though. You know, how much of the success is because of how bad their division is? Like this isn't me taking credit away from them, but you have 6 potential wins against 2 games against the Dolphins. You have 2 games against the Bills, and then the Jets somehow manage to always lose their games against the Patriots.
Well,
It's
you tell me
very
this.
easily. You know?
How do you have a 28-0 lead on New England, and all of a sudden New England comes back and wins 45-28?
I don't know.
Can you tell me that?
I don't know.
That's
I wish
why
I had an answer for you.
That it's the magic of Tom Brady. The magic. I hate it, and this is why people hate Tom Brady.
It's either the magic of Tom Brady or the badness.
I'm sorry,
of
but
the Buffalo
he's
Bills.
that. I think he's that damn good as a quarterback, and I hate. But you have the Tom Brady haters and all that. He's a great quarterback.
No,
He's got 3 Super Bowl rings. If I'm not correct, 3.
Well, 0 since Spygate.
0 since Spygate. No, you are correct on that.
Well, he could change that this year.
Yeah, it's looking very good right now for him.
Right. I mean, like I said, everyone, they want to throw that Spygate thing under the rug, forget about it. But you know what?
And
3 Super Bowl rings is different from 0.
I am upset about the Jets getting rid of Woodhead, though.
I'm not even going to start on that. You know what? I've watched the Jets for many years. There have been far more downs than ups. I would like to say it's a roller coaster ride, but it's not because there's no ups that are that high anyway. But the release of Danny Woodhead, it just shows me that Rex Ryan is the polar opposite of Bill Belichick. Because Bill Belichick, whether you like him or not, whether you make fun of his short sleeve sweaters or anything like that, you know what? This guy sees potential in the right people. This guy, he picks up seemingly what are scrubs, like Danny Woodhead,
Yeah.
like
Scrub.
the Tom Brady who was drafted very late in the draft,
Yeah.
and he turns them into champions. Danny Woodhead isn't a champion yet, but the way he's playing, he could be
You're right.
very soon. He could be this year. Whereas you see Rex Ryan, who cuts Danny Woodhead, and then he continues to play players who haven't proven anything yet. Mark Sanchez.
Yeah.
Look, I'm willing to give the guy the benefit of the doubt. I did. For 3 years. I gave him the benefit of the doubt. And he regressed. Rookie year, he seemed alright. He seemed good enough to win. But then you look back on the stats, 12 touchdowns, 20 interceptions. Okay? Sanchez didn't win those games in the playoffs. He played well enough to not lose those games.
Alright.
Okay? And then, we lost against Indianapolis.
I don't know how my team will ever make the playoffs. I haven't made the play. They haven't made the playoffs in 13 years.
Then you have the second game.
So I don't know what it's like to be in the playoffs. The last time I was in the playoffs was 1999. Thanks, Wade Phillips. But we all know what happened. I don't want to get started in that, but.
Well, we've digressed from discussing good teams. Let's not waste our time on the Johnson Bills. But
we'll get to a point later on when.
I do believe the key to this game is whether or not Ray Rice can get it going.
Yeah,
that's the key. It depends on whether Joe Flacco is forced to win the game, or if he could just keep handing it to Ray Rice.
Oh, I was gonna say we'll get more into that when training camp starts for both teams, which obviously you guys know when that starts. It's defense now.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, Baltimore, like I said, gives the weebie-jeebies to Brady. Don't know why, but out of all the defenses in the league, it's just this defense.
Well, I'll tell you what it is. It's Baltimore. Baltimore's smart. They might be overrated. They might be old, but they're smart. They're patient. They're slow. Look, when you say they're slow, because that's the criticism a lot of people give them. But maybe that works to their advantage, because it allows them to wait on plays rather than over pursue.
Okay.
Because you have these quick defenders, and a lot of times they'll over pursue and leave a guy wide open. Whereas Baltimore, maybe they don't have that speed, but they know well enough not to run in too early or whatnot.
Yeah.
So, and that's a lot. That's what I saw from Houston. You have these guys who they're fast, but they weren't at the right place at the right time.
Going to New England's defense now. I mean, I'll give a quick take of Baltimore's defense. They are old. That's just my take. But like I said, they give some. I don't know what it is, but they play good against Brady. I don't know what it is.
Well, I think Brady plays cautious against them too. He's well aware of their reputation. He really is.
I mean, like I said, they're old.
And expect Baltimore to seem.
I think they're going to blitz a lot.
Seem a little faster in this game.
I think they're going to send a lot of blitzes.
Know what? Yeah, because I'll tell you what.
Because you have to get to Brady. If you don't get to Brady, like I said, he's just going to do throw. Throw. That's 8. You give him a minute in the pocket, he'll make a completion. He'll find someone. It's amazing.
He will.
And I was shifting gears to New England's defense, which is okay at best. They're not a Baltimore defense.
Right.
I mean, they're more like a Buffalo defense.
Well, New England is one of those teams where their offense wins the games.
Their offense wins games.
For all those people who say defense wins championships, well, New England wins with their offense. But I guess that's why, maybe that notion runs true then, because since New England is winning with their offense these days, they haven't won any championships since Spivey.
Okay.
So, no, it's definitely one of the more interesting matchups. It really
it is. Like I said, this is the game I wanted. I'm definitely gonna watch.
And again, this is like I said last year. Well, not last year, last week. Something I said was this is gonna be an interesting game because last week I said it's two legends facing one another directly, because Peyton Manning went up against Ray Lewis. All right, it's not like quarterback versus quarterback where they go up against each other's offense. Again, the same thing is true for this week. It's going to be Ray Lewis against Tom Brady.
That's it. That's pretty much it. I just want to bring one quick thing about New England's defense. Buffalo scored 28 points on their defense.
Yeah.
I know, like I said, the first game they faced, all of a sudden something happened and the Patriots scored 52 points. Don't ask me how. Now, going to week 10, they score 31 points on the defense.
Yeah.
So, is it Buffalo's offense that's good? But I know it's not. It's C.J. Spiller and Stevie Johnson. That's all that team is. And
it makes you wonder, doesn't it? Because Ryan Fitzpatrick
is New England. Ryan Fitzpatrick a horror show? Let's not even get started on that. He's a backup. That's all he ever will be. But then you go to the Houston game. Buffalo's defense shows up. They keep the Texans to 21 points. What's this? 9 points for Buffalo? What? 9 points? What?
It just football's a weird game.
It is a weird game.
Yeah.
Which brings me, is New England's defense good enough to stand against Baltimore's offense?
I don't know. I really don't know.
Because what?
Because every year, it's easy to doubt New England's defense. Easy, because it seems like in the year, as the years go by, they win with their offense, and their defense doesn't need to show up. But then when you get to the playoffs, their defense does show up.
Yeah.
You know? And I just I'm not going to risk saying, oh, New England's defense is not very impressive, just so that they can all of a sudden show up and stifle Baltimore.
Okay.
You know, and hold Ray Rice to like 50 yards a game. So there's always that possibility.
I said, even the Jets, they scored 26 on their defense. Denver 21. Baltimore 31. Arizona 20. Indy 24, but that was a lopsided game. It was 59-24. As I said, you want Tom Brady for stats, for fantasy. Just looking at Frisco, 41 points.
Yeah.
And
that was a game where
the only time the defense showed up was the last game where they shut out Miami.
Yeah, Miami. Really,
but that doesn't even count, okay?
I mean, did they even try to score at that game? They just wanted to go home after that.
That's the only game where. But I wouldn't call it a defensive. It's just Miami. They're improving right now.
Yeah.
And I like where they're going with Tannehill. I think he's maybe has a potential to be a good quarterback in the AFC East. And I give Miami. They will beat out Buffalo. Next year, Buffalo will be 1-something. I don't give them a win unless they change their quarterback and have a good defense. We'll talk about that another time.
Yeah.
But like I said, we're talking about New England's defense right now, and you see the scores. I'm telling you,
they need a real running back. Miami.
Oh, that's
Miami needs
they need a running back.
Reggie Bush is fragile.
He's fragile. He also had a good year though.
He had a good year, and he was injured again.
That's true.
He was injured this year again. This guy, I mean, I don't get it. I don't get it with him. Because if he can just stay healthy, I believe he can be something big.
All right.
But he's always got something. He's always got a sprained whatever. And I just think they need a real running back, someone they can depend on.
Going to the first game of Baltimore and New England, where Baltimore won 31-30. Look at this little stat right here. 101 yards, Ray Rice.
Yep.
I see if they start running the ball, and it's executing 10, 11, 12 yards a carry, maybe Baltimore wins this game. Because they're running
That's
scheme.
The key. That's the key for me.
I mean, that stat shows that New England does not have a great defense.
Because
I showed you pretty much every score, and the only one was Miami with 0, 14 with Houston, 16, 19, 24, 31. The St. Louis game doesn't even count for 7 points. It's St. Louis. Jets 26, Seattle 24.
Yeah. And none of those teams have anyone like Ray Rice.
So
the thing with Ray Rice is everybody knows Baltimore's running.
So let me ask you, who wins this game and who's going on to face Frisco for the Super Bowl?
Well, if I had to choose somebody from the AFC, again, this is probably
This is a tough game.
This is probably tougher
a very
than the
tough
NFC
game.
Championship game.
And take a note right now. New England is giving 10 to Baltimore. 10 points. It's a 10-point spread. Can you explain that to me? How this game's a 10-point spread?
Wait. Who's ahead? Who's got
New England's favored by 10.
I can see that. I can understand that. I really can.
And also, I will give. It is home field for New England. Home field for New England.
That's why I believe the spread is in their favor so
Alright.
much. I guess, you know what? A lot of people probably say something like this. They probably feel this. Heart says Baltimore, but stats say New England.
All right.
That's how I feel. I would like to see Baltimore get into the Super Bowl. I would like to see Ray Lewis get. I'm not even a Ray Lewis fan.
I'm not either.
But I respect him enough to like to see him in the Super Bowl one final time.
Okay.
And you know, as a Rutgers alumni, I did get to see Ray Rice in his college days. I would like to see him get one, get a ring early in his career. Yeah, I would like again. If New England wins, I wouldn't be surprised.
Okay.
But I guess I'm gonna go with Baltimore here.
I think we all want to see the matchup. Everyone wants to see, and this is great for TV because TV, Super Bowl, spike ratings.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to see New England and San Francisco in the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
You understand why it's Brady,
yeah, absolutely.
Kaepernick.
Absolutely.
It is. It might be. I think it'd be a good Super Bowl because you don't know who would win. You have Kaepernick who can run all over the place and throw, Tom Brady in his dominant offense.
Mm-hmm.
But then this is where you go. Frisco can score points against this New England team.
Yeah, they've done it before.
So
It would be a rematch.
If it is,
San Francisco won already.
if it is San Francisco versus New England, we'll get more to that once Super Bowl comes around because this could completely, like I said, could completely change.
If they win.
If they win, it could completely
If
change.
they win, look, New England ended up 12-4. One of the teams that beat them was San Francisco, but another team was Baltimore. So for all we know, Baltimore could win again. We don't know. I would like to know.
This is why it's the NFL. It's fun.
The game that Baltimore beat New England, was that at New England or was that at Baltimore? Because that would be an interesting thing to check.
Game
out
was
there,
at. Hold on.
It was at
Game
Baltimore.
was at Baltimore.
It was at Baltimore.
Yep.
So it's again, that's just.
And Wes Welker, 142 yards.
Well, Wes Welker always seems to have a great game against whoever he plays.
Another great fantasy pick. Good for fantasy owners, but it is such a tough game to choose. Like you can't.
Well, both games really.
Both games are tough.
Both games are tough.
Both games are tough.
But I do get why more people are picking San Francisco.
I do
anyway.
not want a Baltimore and San Francisco Super Bowl. It would be brother against brother.
Oh come on! Who wouldn't want to see that?
I mean-
Why wouldn't you want to see that?
Okay, think about it. If I had a brother, I'm facing my brother in the Super Bowl. I lose to him. Do you really think I want to talk to him for the rest of my life? You really, come on. You just lost to your brother in the Super Bowl. I wouldn't want to talk to my brother. You just defeated me. Now I have to go back, rewatch film, and prove I have the better team.
So the reason you don't want to see that is because you feel like
I think there
should
should be hatred between the brothers. But like, oh, good game, blah. No, you hate him.
So you want to see a fight at the end of that game?
Oh, I would want to see a fight between them two. And I hate both coaches. I hate the Frisco coach and I hate the Baltimore coach.
I know someone who hates the San Francisco coach.
See, this is the reason why I hate him.
Why? Is it because
Okay.
he lifted his shirt after they beat Detroit?
No, absolutely not. Buffalo.
Okay.
Okay. What are you trying to be, Bill Belichick?
Oh, and they ran up the score.
They ran up to score. You're up by 40. Enough's enough. What do you want to prove? I understand. Oh, you want to be the best team in the world, but that's not proving anything. You're just embarrassing a team. And Buffalo stopped playing.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, how much could you go? How much further can you go? And that right there, how much I hate Frisco's coach, with a passion. So, and I hate the Baltimore coach. Same thing.
Well, what, he ran up the score too, or what?
I just don't. I've never liked John Harbaugh, and I never liked Jim Harbaugh. So they're in my hate list. I think I hate them both more than I hate Bill Belichick.
It would be interesting if they both made it, though.
Oh, it's a good story.
It's a very good story.
But I think the majority of the people want to see New England and San Francisco. just because
see why.
it's
I can see
TV
why.
ratings. It's the new face of the NFC versus the face of the AFC.
I'm just sick of seeing either Brady, Manning, or
New
Roethlisberger
face
in the Super Bowl.
versus old face.
That's all the AFC gives us. That's all we get from the AFC. It's either in
Yeah,
the Super
but
Bowl,
can-
Roethlisberger,
you can
Manning,
agree,
or Brady.
But you can agree Tom Brady is the face of the AFC.
Well, it was Manning until he got eliminated.
Yes.
Because, with Manning's comeback story and all that.
No, it was great. It was a
Right.
great story.
But now it's, the ball's back
But
in
if
Brady's court.
you go to the AFC, you look at every quarterback,
Uh-huh.
you have to put Tom Brady as your face in the AFC.
Yeah, there's no argument at that point.
No argument. So it's the AFC, Tom Brady, the leader of the quarterbacks in AFC, versus this new face, Colin Kaepernick. It's a story.
Well, that's what I've been about this postseason. That's what I've been. The first show that I talked about sports, I said I wanted to see new faces in the Super Bowl.
Everyone loves new faces, and Colin Kaepernick
Brady's
would
been
be
there.
one.
Brady's been there enough. I want to see Joe Flacco, Ray Rice, and Ray Lewis make a return to the Super Bowl.
All right.
Flacco and Rice make their first. I would like to see that. And Anquan Bolden would make a return.
Yes.
He was there with Arizona.
Yep.
Didn't win it, but I would like to see him make up for that.
All right.
And then, of course, NFC, whoever wins is a new face. Whether it be Matt Ryan or Colin Kaepernick, whoever wins that game, a new household name will be born. So I feel like it's a win-win with
Yes.
the NFC. AFC, if I want new faces, I have to go with Baltimore.
All right.
So
So we're looking for a very fun.
interesting, we picked the polar opposites of
Yeah.
each other. I'm going with the two birds and Ravens and the
Yeah, I
Falcons,
see that.
and you're going with New England.
I have to go with new blood. I like San Francisco. I like Colin Kaepernick, and I think Tom Brady in the dominant offense.
I will say I won't be surprised if both my picks are wrong, though.
No, it's
I
cool.
will be
Like I said,
surprised.
it's just our opinions right now.
Right.
But this football Sunday, I am looking forward to it.
Absolutely, yeah.
Looking forward, and I'm looking forward more towards the Super Bowl, and I think it's gonna be a good Super Bowl no matter what team makes it.
Yeah.
I don't want Atlanta. I don't want Atlanta though. I really don't want Atlanta. I'd rather see San Francisco. And, I give where credit Atlanta is, but I want Colin Kaepernick instead of Matty Ice in the Super Bowl.
I get it. Atlanta, granted, isn't the most exciting team to watch.
Great wide receiving core.
Great wide receiving core, an up and coming. I don't want to say up and coming because Matt Ryan, he has had good years, but I just would like to see him in the postseason.
Oh, it'd be nice.
In the Super Bowl, I should say.
That's true. So definitely looking forward to this Sunday. We had some baseball news that broke that A-Rod out 6 months for any Yankee fan out there.
Right.
Obviously you're a diehard Yankee fan, and your take on this 6 month.
Well, again, it's A-Rod's. He's something else, isn't he? Again, I'm not gonna put this on A-Rod, but in a way you have to. You assume that this is because of his years with performance-enhancing drugs. But again, like I said, I'm not gonna, hold A-Rod. It's not like he's the only one who's done it, because
Okay.
for some reason, I'll never forget. We had one game against between the Yankees and the Red Sox. Joe Buck made it a point to point out that A-Rod used performance-enhancing drugs. David Ortiz is across that diamond.
Yeah,
He's used it as well. Why not mention him as well?
true.
It's this whole steroid issue is very interesting, and it shows people's true colors, because when A-Rod was exposed to have been using steroids and admitted to it after he was accused or exposed, where there was proof, he admitted to it, and you would not hear the end of it. You would not hear the end of it. Everyone was all over him. But when David Ortiz was caught and denied it by saying he didn't understand because of the language barrier, it turned into forgiveness.
Yeah,
I'll never understand. ESPN collectively turned into David Ortiz's personal attorney.
yeah, you're right.
And I don't understand it. Why?
You're right.
Just because you're closer to New England, that doesn't mean you're supposed to be favoring these guys. All right? ESPN's coverage is unreal. When the Jets eliminated the Patriots a few years ago in the playoffs, you would think you were walking into a funeral. They couldn't believe it. I mean, it's not your job to root for people. And
No,
I don't
that's the
understand.
problem.
Now, back to A-Rod. I feel like he's gotten a bad rap because of his usage of performance-enhancing drugs. But
And A-Rod his surgery is complete, but it's a loss for 6 months.
it's a loss for 6 months, which is why I think the signing of Kevin Youkilis was very smart. Very smart. As a former look, as a Yankees fan, you have to look at other teams, especially the Red Sox, and you can develop respect for their players. You don't have to like them, but you respect them. I do. Kevin Youkilis was a guy I liked. Not like, oh, he's awesome, I love him. No, I couldn't stand him. Why? Because he hurt us.
Yeah.
He hurt the Yanks. You know, every time he came into the Bronx, he used that short porch against us. So I think it's a very good signing. I think with Youkilis in there, you might not miss A-Rod. I do think Youkilis could bring something new to the table.
It's 6 months. So
Yeah, he's going to have to. He's going to be a starter for quite a while. And I do wonder what's going to happen if Youkilis is having a good year and A-Rod comes back.
I think you DH A-Rod now.
You have to. Yeah.
Also, July, which would be 6 months, first time will return.
Yeah. Well,
So-
another thing about A-Rod is he gets no mercy from the fans. No mercy, and I get it. He's not hitting the home runs. He's not being clutch. Seems like he can't do anything right these days. But the last playoff run where we just got clobbered by Detroit, A-Rod got all the blame.
You're right.
And I don't understand that because there's more people that playing other than A-Rod. You have A-Rod he's come to the end of his career. So, and since he's not using PEDs anymore, he's not going to be like Barry Bonds where he keeps hitting 40, 60 home runs a year.
Okay.
Okay? His body's breaking down now.
I
But
get
then
you.
Robinson Cano, who's in the prime of his career, is getting a pass. He didn't do anything. And then you have Nick Swisher, of course,
Swisherlicious.
who never does anything in the playoffs. And then this offseason thinks he's worth a ridiculous amount of money.
And someone paid him.
And someone paid him. And to Cleveland.
Cleveland.
Yeah, that's
Good luck winning a ring there, buddy.
That's going to put people in the seats, right? Yeah, Cleveland's had a problem with attendance.
That's going to put a lot of butts in the seats.
Nick Swisher, of all people, is going to put butts in the
Yes.
seats. Nice logic there.
Thank you, Tony Schiavone.
Oh, goodness.
Sorry about that. WCW reference there. I'm going to put a lot of butts in the seats. That's funny. Also, Derek Jeter got the okay to resume baseball activities.
Good news.
Should be ready by opening day.
Very good news.
Should retire, that's my opinion.
Well, no. Last year he had a good year. Very good year. And it was amazing how he represented the Yankees' success last year because when he got hurt, it was almost as if the Yankees gave up.
You're right. On
Did
a
you
point, you're
see?
right.
Did you see the morale change?
Yeah, no, you're right on that.
Unbelievable.
You're right on that. It's just, you're 30, he's 39, he's going to be 39. Do you really want a 39-year-old shortstop?
As of right now,
That's like saying a 45-year-old playing second base.
I do believe when his career is winding down, there are rumors that he'll be an outfielder, and I can sort of get that. But as of right now, he has yet to cost us a good amount of games. His bat is too valuable still, and which is amazing because he was one of the guys who showed up in the postseason.
No, I understand, but that's all the same thing going for Mariano Rivera.
Yeah.
You're coming off an injury.
Yeah, will he be the same?
Will he be the same?
I mean, he's over 40 years old. He has to recover. How far is his recovery?
Keyword retire. You know, what more do you have to show as a closer? I
think it's Rivera doesn't want to go out that way.
I understand. Well, it was a stupid way to go out.
It was. You talk about bad luck.
It was very stupid.
About bad luck. It's something that he does. He does it all the time. He always plays outfield. You know, during batting practice and all that. You know, I've seen it when I go to the games early, and it's fine. And I couldn't believe that happened. The way it happened. I mean, that's got to be it. Rivera can't possibly want to go out that way.
No, and I wouldn't either. Which I would come back, but as far as I'm concerned, he's still good enough until he shows that he can't do it anymore. Okay.
I feel like Rivera still had a decent year the year before. The last year was cut off, but by a ridiculous injury.
It was funny you like say that about Mariano Rivera. Like what happens like if he starts off really bad, you think it's over. I went to a Met game, and K-Rod, obviously with the father and
Yeah,
you remember that.
I remember.
I was at that game, and we were
Was
wondering.
that he apparently fought his
Yes, he
father-in-law?
fought father-in-law. We were at that game,
Okay,
and we were wondering why he wasn't put in to save the game.
right.
And we found out that happened. Ever since that happened, he was never the same.
Yeah.
It was just
Yeah.
the downhill spiral of K-Rod. Give her credit, he had some good games where he came in and closed.
Of course.
But all of a sudden, now the Mets trade him. Now I think he's a free agent now.
Mhm.
And look where his career's gone.
Yeah.
I mean, he had 59 saves with the Angels. Most saves
in a season,
in
right?
a season. You go to the Mets, and you can't function with the Mets. It's amazing.
Something about those Mets.
It's a curse.
Something
I'm
about
telling
the
you.
orange and blue.
I'm telling you. And a lot of people say it's a Shea Stadium curse.
Okay.
But
Well, what is
I can
behind
say,
the Shea Stadium curse?
Well, think about it. Ever since 2006,
Uh-huh.
have they made the playoffs?
Understandable.
Have they made the playoffs?
Right.
Oh, everyone remembers Carlos Beltran staring at a fastball right down the middle. My heart sunk when he didn't lift the bat, do something, swing. Nope, I'll just stand there and watch a fastball go right by me.
Watching that game, very big key moments.
Oh, it was.
Very big key. It was a nice pitcher's duel for most of the game, if I remember correctly.
Chavez catch, that's what everyone remembers.
Chavez's catch. I gotta believe that moment, Mets fans believed they were going to win that
Everyone
game.
believes.
When he made that
Everybody
catch, when he
believed.
stole that home run, I felt everybody thought the Mets had that one. There aren't that many instant momentum changers in baseball because
Yeah.
it's a slower paced game. But when that happened, I thought, and I'm not even I'm not a big Mets guy, but I really believed the Mets are going to win this game.
Definitely.
You don't make that type of a catch and then go on to lose.
It hurt. Like, that's one of the...
And then
And also seeing that last game at Shea Stadium, where they, like I said, they had the lead and they blew it.
Mhm.
They blew the division. Yeah, that hurt seeing Shea. Like, I would like to see I would like to see a playoff game in Shea before I went. But seeing that moment, and I'm gonna be honest here, I actually shedded a tear because it's the end of Shea Stadium.
Yeah.
And to go out on that note.
No, it's the truth. It's personally, me with Yankee Stadium. You go there, you try to forget about things that are going on in your own life. Things don't go the way you want them to, but there's always that one place where you go and you can forget about everything.
Yeah, I
And
get
I
you.
feel like Shea Stadium and Yankee Stadium in 2001 were that place for all of New York.
Yeah.
And to see those two places go the same year, it was sad. It was. And you're not alone. Many people shed tears when when a childhood place of theirs is destroyed or has to go.
I
I did for Yankee Stadium during Derek Jeter's speech. He was right. It's
I
gonna be
sat in
tough.
front of the TV and I was in shock. Like, this Shea Stadium's done.
Yeah.
And I'm like, don't get me wrong, a City Field is beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been there 3 times so far, and it's just nice. You go there and it's like you got all the Mets, all the players on the flags, and you have all these Met things on the ground. You go in, you got like
The rotunda.
the
Jackie
rotunda
Robinson
is
rotunda.
beautiful.
Yeah.
The Jackie Robinson rotunda, beautiful, beautiful. You have the
And
history.
I hear their pulled pork is pretty awesome too.
Yes, it is. The snack, the Shake Shack, expensive but good. Just all right. You could do, but you want to tour the whole stadium. You have to get there early.
Yeah.
Because it is a beautiful stadium to tour. I only toured half of it, but what you want to see is the Mets history,
Mhm.
and that was pretty cool. Seeing that whole exhibit, like all the Hall of Famers for the Mets. That was pretty cool to see.
Right.
Yeah, just to say, it really. I'm not gonna say it sucks to be a Met fan. It really sucks, and 2006 was a low blow. But listen, we're not talking about baseball now. We'll start once spring training starts. Definite future for the Mets with their pitching staff, and we have a catcher finally, but we'll talk about that more later. Obviously, we'll get to more Yankee talk. Same thing with spring training starts.
Yeah, absolutely.
Met fan, Yankee fan. We'll also have more Met talk, Yankee talk, and stuff like that. Actually, just quick wrestling news. We'll make it brief. WWE made an offer to Brock Lesnar, and why he won't likely wrestle The Undertaker.
Okay.
It says that
Well, is the new contract anything like the one he has now?
it will be several $1 million, a few major pay-per-view events, and the TV shows building up to those events.
A few pay-per-view main events.
Few
So that means
pay-per-view.
not all of them. Again.
Yes,
Okay.
not all of them again. Lesnar has not signed a deal
Well,
yet.
they just really want this guy. And
What's so bad about him though? It's Brock Lesnar.
No. I'm going to tell you something. Brock Lesnar is a very polarizing character. Well, not character, a person. He's a very
Yes.
polarizing person. There are people who love the guy, and there are guys who hate him. You know, I'll never understand the fans who say, "Oh, you couldn't make it in UFC." Was he not champion?
Yes, he was. He was.
I
He
mean,
was the champion.
if you
Even though he
got-
got his butt kicked his last fight, and
Well, I mean, you got to remember the condition he had before that fight.
yeah,
And
that's understandable.
And you know, I mean, I do like he did make it in UFC. Don't tell me he didn't make it when he became champ.
Yeah.
Twice, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Isn't he a 2-time UFC champion?
Yeah.
So I'll never understand
Like I
how
said, I
anyone
don't
can
watch
say-
UFC that much. I'm not a UFC guy. I'm not
Right.
an MMA guy.
But I mean, when you hear Brock Lesnar headlining a UFC pay-per-view, that means he made it.
Yeah,
And he's the defending champ. Come on,
you're right.
don't kid yourself. He didn't make it. Brock Lesnar in the WWE, I always thought he was entertaining.
Yeah, I would definitely.
I'm not going to pretend he has the best mic skills.
Horrible.
Well, no, I'm not going to go on and say horrible.
Horrible.
But
I'm saying because I don't like his mic skills. There, I think he has a lot to work on. He's not like The Rock. Great mic skills back then. As I say, back then and not now.
we'll get into that another day. We'll get into that. We got to discuss that because that's another big topic of discussion.
All right.
But I do believe that Brock Lesnar, when he looks pissed off,
He does.
He looks pissed.
He looks pissed.
because it feels like he is.
Also, he does have to work on his mic skills, which is big. I don't know why it's so big, but it shows promo wise he can. To cut a good promo, you have to have mic skills.
Right.
And I can name a couple like The Rock,
Right.
Old Rock, not New Rock, Cena.
Oh, okay, you know what? If you're gonna mention that again, let's go into it now.
Well,
because-
we'll get that to another time because I want Rob here to discuss that also.
All right. Okay. All right. All right.
Stone Cold, Jericho, some mic skills there.
Well, no, Jericho's got very good mic.
Yes.
skills. Well, here's the thing with Brock Lesnar. He's definitely one of those guys. Look, him and Paul Heyman combined, beautiful. I
Agreed.
think that works awesomely. I don't understand why I don't like CM Punk and Paul Heyman, because I think Punk can vouch for himself.
Yeah.
Paul Heyman's really with CM Punk. He's really just a prop. He's just there holding the belt up.
Well,
Now, don't get me wrong.
well-
Paul Heyman's promos are still gold.
Heyman, but this is the reason why we have the Punk now. Heyman saw something in him, and look what's happened now. CM Punk's the WWE champion,
Right.
and he was the world heavyweight champion.
I just
so
think
we
it's-
actually have to thank Heyman for what we have now.
Right.
So
Well, you know what? I gotta say though, I still don't like the combination.
no, I understand.
I think it's
understand why I don't
unnecessary.
like the combination.
I think you can give Paul Heyman to someone else who needs him. Someone else who needs a mouthpiece. Let's say Paul Heyman would do better for Ziggler than pairing him
Yeah.
with AJ Lee.
Oh, definitely.
You know, I really don't get that.
That's a weird pairing.
They just pulled that out of their ass, basically.
It was a rabbit. They
It was.
pulled
Or
pulled
how
a
about
rabbit.
Paul Heyman returning with Jack Swagger with a new look? You know,
Yeah.
Jack Swagger's always going to have that promo problem.
Definitely,
So why not have him there?
because he has a lisp. And it's
Right, but
quite funny.
that's why. Well, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to say that. But you have that issue. People are never going to let you live it down.
No.
So I do believe that Paul Heyman could do a lot more for Jack Swagger or Dolph Ziggler
You're right.
than he can do for CM Punk.
I'd like to see him with there. I think it'd be a great combination.
Right.
Now we have everyone wants to see Lesnar and Taker, but now we know why this won't happen. Obviously, Lesnar, as you showed his match against Cena, he's very physical.
Very physical. Even when he's supposedly doing, everyone's like, again, wrestling's not real.
It-
When you're wrestling Brock Lesnar though,
it's real.
it can
It's
get
damn real.
it can get fairly real.
And Undertaker, old, hurting, not in good shape, and Lesnar works a physical style. So I can understand why this match not happening. It's because Lesnar, I think, would beat the crap out of Taker. Maybe at Undertaker's prime, it would be a great match.
Right.
At this
Well, they
time,
did. They did have a
they did.
very
I know.
good match.
They had a very good match.
Hell in a Cell, many years ago.
I know. I
Very
know
good
that.
match.
But this match, as of now, I don't think. I think you would have to make Lesnar dominant.
If you notice, Undertaker's last 4 matches against Triple H and Shawn Michaels are against guys you can trust. Guys who...
Brock Lesnar, not so much.
Here's the thing with Brock Lesnar, and I think this was true his first run with the WWE. He might be too strong for his own good. No, maybe that's the wrong way to put it. He might not be that good at holding back. You know what I mean? Especially now that he knows how to hit very effectively. I feel like, even against John Cena, how prepared could he have been for that?
Look at his bloody lip.
Again,
in
I'm
2
not-
seconds.
In 2 seconds, I feel like Brock Lesnar sometimes may get, the adrenaline gets pumping. It may accidentally, not hold back as much as you need to. And I do believe, they want to... I mean, I don't think Lesnar's going to kill The Undertaker.
No.
Undertaker's still
It's
good.
a match I would want to see.
Yeah.
But now looking at it, the Undertaker is getting older.
Yeah.
And the past 4 matches that he's had with Triple H and HBK, you could show he's fatigued.
Yeah.
Like, you're not having that same Taker
Right.
from WrestleMania 25,
And at
24,
the
23.
And at the same time, it's tough to notice because he's in the ring with such good performers in Shawn Michaels and Triple H. Yes, it's not everyone likes
Triple H. We know.
But you know what? His in-ring work is pretty good.
Yes.
It's pretty good. He's had very good matches.
And obviously, if Taker can trust him.
Yeah.
But I think we're going to see the match between Taker and Punk.
Yeah, it's got to be. Because Punk is another guy who I believe you can trust, who I believe you can have a good match with without getting too physical.
And the storyline makes sense. It's respect, and Undertaker, you know him, you want to gain respect, you have to beat me to get the respect.
Right.
At one way it's like, you want to earn my respect, beat me, and I'll get your respect. So the storyline actually works.
Mm-hmm.
And I would like to see that match at WrestleMania. We're definitely not seeing Lesnar and Taker.
Yeah.
Not going to happen. But it shock me if I'm wrong. WWE has, like I said, they pull rabbits out of their hats. If it happens, hooray! Hooray! If not, oh well.
I think it's one of two things. Either you'll see Punk in a triple threat in the WWE title match,
or
you'll see him with Undertaker.
Also news. How do you release? How does your script get revealed for the Royal Rumble?
You have too many people backstage who are anxious to get that extra dollar.
Chad, I'm not sure if this is real or not, but this is the script that we will see at the Royal Rumble. Their current layout is for the WWE Royal Rumble to have a Rumble qualifying match planned for the U2 pre-show, a Divas title match that has not been determined yet, Kane and Daniel Bryan versus Cody Rhodes, Sandow, Big Show, Del Rio, Punk and Rock, and the 30-man Royal Rumble. A timed-out script shows the Divas match for 10 minutes, the Tag Team match for 10 minutes, the World Heavyweight title for 20 minutes, the WWE title for 30 minutes, and the Rumble main event set for 70 minutes total. Mm-hmm. These times include intros, the match itself, and the post-match happenings. The script does not have The Miz and Antonio Cesaro.
Well, what they could do is, rather than have a Divas match at all,
I'd put Cesaro and The Miz.
Yeah.
For the U.S. title.
Would that be the YouTube pre-show, though? It might be, because I would figure you want Cesaro and Miz in the Royal Rumble, too.
Yeah, I mean, that would be nice to see. But I'd like to have that in the pay-per-view. Because Antonio Cesaro's character right now...
Yeah, he's won me over. Cesaro has won me over.
He won me over in ROH. I love the guy. I like the Rumble being last.
Yeah.
But but also I don't like the Rumble being last because of this. Say if The Rock wins, we know who's winning the Rumble. It'll be so obvious.
That's why I don't think The Rock's going to beat Punk.
It will be so obvious. It will be Cena and we'll have Cena versus The Rock at WrestleMania 29, which we will be there live for, and I want to see it again.
I can't see The Rock winning over Punk.
I'm rooting my heart out for Punk. Who are you kidding?
Like I'm not really rooting for anybody, but I just can't see it. I can't see it happening. At least not yet.
I know, like, you're right.
I feel like everything's going to be set up at Elimination Chamber.
Yeah, I mean that's where most like the WrestleMania. I mean, it says it starts at the Rumble, but also starts at the Elimination Chamber because then you get that road for 6 weeks to 7, 8 weeks or whatever amount of weeks it is to get storylines right. Because you have time. There's no pay-per-view in March. You have time to set up storylines, feud, ended at Mania.
Right.
And with a big twist at the Raw after. Because obviously that's the big...
You realize that whoever loses the CM Punk Rock match can potentially, if it's The Rock, if he loses, he could potentially enter the Royal Rumble.
Is that possible?
It's happened before. Where someone's in a title match and then they just show up. I don't know if they were in a title match because CM Punk wouldn't need to win the Royal Rumble. He wouldn't need to enter because he has the so-called rematch clause. But if Rock were to lose his title match,
that would be cool. It would be cool to see.
He could enter the Royal Rumble. Maybe
it would be cool to see something different. Something different out of that.
But again, I don't know if that would happen because The Rock, I don't know if he can go 30 minutes. That's going to be interesting to see. If he goes 30 minutes, will he have anything left for the Royal Rumble?
That's true.
So that could be, that could be a red flag. Maybe he won't show up.
I mean, we'll definitely talk about more during Rumble Week, which is next week. Tune in, as we'll make a brief thing about it right now. We're going back to past Royal Rumbles to discuss whether they're good, not good, completely horrible.
And one thing, I gotta believe that Ziggler is going to cash in his Money in the Bank at Elimination Chamber.
That makes perfect sense.
He might pull an Edge.
It makes sense.
You know?
I mean, why wouldn't you? I mean, if I'm the Money in the Bank, even though I have no creative,
I can't
say anything, but that's where I would put him.
I can't see him, but then again, you look at the rumored WrestleMania matches, and again, Ziggler's not in any of them.
Del Rio, it was our current world heavyweight champion.
So it really makes me wonder when is Ziggler going to cash it in? Because if he cashes it in, if those are really the WrestleMania matches, then I don't want Ziggler to cash it in.
And lose right away.
Yeah, because that's what would have to happen.
Well, remember, he's got a year. So, obviously, Money in the Bank would be the year. Okay, so maybe after Mania?
Oh, right, because I'm thinking, you know what I'm thinking? Wow, I apologize for this. I've been thinking he won it at WrestleMania for some reason. So it's valid for the full year. Yeah, he could keep it past Mania.
So why not do it on the biggest Raw of the year?
Well, I felt like it should have been like this past Monday.
That too, the 20th anniversary.
That was a disappointment because I felt
we did get a title change though.
Oh yeah, because everybody cares about the Divas title.
But it was still a good match, and they're showing little faith in the Divas division.
Yeah,
as you can tell, they're giving them more time now, which is finally something that's they give them like 2 minutes, the match would be over. Yeah. Now it's 10 minutes, going on maybe 11, 12 minutes longer, which is nice to see.
Yeah.
Even poor Eve, so long Eve, have farewell, great marriage, and all that kind of stuff. Just another one quickie which I don't like. Maybe some people do. Dolph Ziggler turning babyface. Mm-hmm. I mean, I do want to get in that more tomorrow. I would not like it, and the reason being is because he's already popular in the New York market. Mm-hmm. Didn't we forget that WrestleMania 29 once again is in New Jersey?
Well,
obviously, once again, New Jersey is a smart town. Yeah, a bunch of smarts out there.
You will have a bunch of
also in New York. Yeah. New York will be coming over, but it is a bunch of smart marks out there. Yeah, and this is New Jersey, and you're in smart mark already. Yeah. You're in New Jersey. If you're a huge fan of Dolph Ziggler, but also internet. But I'm a fan of Ziggler, but I'm not a smart mark. Mm-hmm. Okay. I like him for he sells moves like it's no tomorrow. Mm-hmm. Great in the ring, has great matches, Had a great match with Cena twice,
Yeah, and his
Also,
mic skills are getting better.
and Mike's skills are getting better.
Yeah.
Why isn't he have the title? We will discuss that more, but it just pisses me off. This guy doesn't have the title. He has potential. Use him. Do something.
Mhm.
Do something.
Yeah. Besides lose to Cena, that would be nice.
And the worst part, after seeing that 56 losses, that pissed me off even more. This guy has the money in the bank, and last year he has 56 losses. Zack Ryder had 30 losses. Explain that to me.
I can't. I can't.
I mean, I repeated myself yesterday, but it's ridiculous. I saw that stat, and it's mind-blowing. Mind-blowing. And Sheamus with 67, I don't want to get started with that. Half of those are against Del Rio. But also, we'll talk about this more tomorrow. NFL, definitely watch Sunday. We'll have Rob back tomorrow. We'll talk about TNA. Yay!
Hey, they like I said, they had an okay show last week.
And
It
I'm
was pretty
actually
solid.
gonna watch it tonight. This is gonna be hard for me. This is
This is going to be exciting. You got to keep me tabbed on how you're doing
as long as you watch it. You have to watch it too, because I
will
want
be.
your take
I'll
as
check
well.
it out. Yeah.
And it's gonna be very hard for me to watch it. I'm not a TNA fan. Used to be, but we will give you our review of TNA tomorrow. We're gonna wrap up the show here. Like I said, tune in Sunday NFL. Can't get any bigger than this. To Brady, Flacco, Kaepernick, Ryan. Obviously, we made our picks already. I'm excited. Can't wait. Rumble, 2 weeks away.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll have Rumble week.
Now
next
remember,
week.
I picked the Atlanta Falcons versus the Baltimore Ravens.
And my pick is New England versus Frisco.
Again, I won't be surprised if I get both picks wrong, but we'll see. It's going to be a very exciting weekend.
It is, and I can't wait for it to get started. And then Super Bowl, obviously, the weekly. We'll get into more of the Super Bowl when Super Bowl weekend comes, because obviously no one cares about the Pro Bowl anymore. But
What's a Pro Bowl?
what's the Pro Bowl? That thing where they play two-hand touch and they barely do anything. But actually, I'm gonna just squeeze in for the Pro Bowl right now. AFC wins. I don't know who you like in that game.
I don't even care.
No one cares. Okay, so tune in tomorrow. TNA review. More of the Ziggler turning babyface. Like I said, tune in tomorrow. I'm John.
This is Ant.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Be safe.